Hello survivors, and welcome to another video. In today's video we are going to be looking at how you can beat a run in under 6 minutes consistently. Now obviously to get much lower it's going to be quite a lot of RNG, but we will get into that a little bit later. How we do it is we run Weapon Expert, Multicast Mastery, Generalist, Focus Fire and Purity. We're going to be running the Elementalist with his second weapon, Scepter of Frost, and we are going to be doing it on a zero curse map. We are going to be using the Whispering Grove because I found a pretty decent spot that spawns the bosses on your head quite consistently, so you can kill them as soon as they spawn. They don't have to run around looking for you. So I found if you sit right here in between the tree and the dead tree like this, like a little triangle over here, then you are in a pretty decent place with monster spawns, as well as when the lords spawn, they actually get spawned on top of you sometimes. So very cool for killing them very quick. Now in terms of what skills to look for, the main skill is actually Severe Cold, which is what we start off with. And then it is Chromatic Bolt. So we do need to get ourselves a Chromatic Bolt, and we also going to be filling it up with either Chain Lightning or a Thunderstrike, so that we've got the Dazed. And then we are going to be looking for Might and Arcane Power. Now obviously if you can't get all of these things, it's not that important. You can fill it up with whatever you like, but the most important thing is the Severe Cold and the what's it going to be, the Chromatic Bolt. So this is one of the only times that you'll see me taking Leviathan. I will only take green and blue Leviathans, more blue than green, but in that case there wasn't anything that was better. We don't necessarily need the AoE, so we are going to be looking for cast frequency and damage over everything else. Obviously multicast as well, but we are prioritizing cast frequency and damage. Multicast will come third. And then with regards to crits, we don't really need the crit because we are going to be running Chain Lightning or Thunderstrike, and then we are going to leave all of these negative debuffs out of the way. Again, we don't need AoE, and we don't need that. We don't need armor. We don't need that. We don't really have anything here, so we'll just take the crit damage and go from there. So that, like I said, it does boil down to RNG. Like there was a terrible state or level up for us. We don't need movement speed either, and then we'll just take the cast frequency. Alright, so now the first boss needs to spawn very soon. We are kind of behind, and he spawned in a very bad place for us. Well, it's not that it's a bad place, it's not that important. We pick that up for all of our XP, come back to here, and then we're going to be again looking for the right skills. So as you can see, there's Arcane Power. Luckily now we can start getting cast frequencies. There's a Chain Lightning, a blue Leviathan, Exposed Weakness we don't actually need because we don't really apply. We apply slow, which doesn't matter. A Dazed is good for it, I guess. We don't need it. We're trying to be consistent here, and consistency is key. We aren't really going to hit anything great here. We'll grab the Light Beam and a very rare Magnetic, which is fantastic over here for the pickup range, and then some cast frequency. So Light Beam will be changed out. You don't have to worry too much about it. I have done some testing with it as well. We do need the Chromatic Bolt and Might. Again, we have been quite unlucky. As you can see, we've used all of our rerolls and we never hit Chromatic Bolt. We never hit Might. So, you know, there is RNG in it, but it should still be a decent run depending on the upgrades that we get. So I mean, we've got Brittle and we've got Dazed, which work very well as well, and we literally just sit and we face the corner over here and everything should be dying around us. So we go more cast frequency. There will be a time or two where you have to dodge, which is okay. That's not the end of the world. Okay, we can go for crit there. And some... we're going to get rid of the light beam, so we'll just go for cast frequency on everything. It's quite sad because that could have been a cast frequency on something else, but again, this is why RNG does factor into the run. Alright, so damage for everything. Again, we're playing purity, so you don't want to get the dazed to X or Y. You just want the flat damage and everything else that comes with that. So now we've got 12 level ups. We want cast frequency. Still nothing great there. Damage. 10% damage is good here. We want cast frequency. 30% damage from Leviathan. Cast frequency. We'll just have to stick with light. Oh, there we go. Finally end the light beam, and there is the mart. Honestly, how typical. Alright, so in this case, we're going to focus the multicast and then potency for mart, obviously, because then we'll deal more damage. So we are just waiting for the chromatic bolt. Obviously, in terms of what to go for here, I would go chain lightning over the thunderstrike, just because it might hit more enemies. And then obviously you'll change your thunderstrike for chromatic bolt if you do get that. I have been very unlucky here. Hopefully it doesn't affect the run, but it shouldn't. Alright, so potency on arcane power. We are focusing on severe cold, and it would be obviously chromatic bolt if we did get it. They will be doing the most amount of damage, so that's the skills that you're going to try and focus on to get yourself the most amount of time, or least amount of time would be a better way of saying it. Alright, so we can grab ourselves a little bit of a Leviathan over here, some more cast frequency, and more cast frequency. Again, we don't need area of effect, so you can banish the expansive. Obviously, there are so many things you want to banish that you can't banish all of them. So, you know, you got to just take it as it comes. And just keep going from there. So we've got some multicast here, potency. There's a chromatic bolt, so we're going to get rid of... This does a lot of damage though. We'll get rid of that. Okay, cast frequency there. Duration of mart would be very good here. Multicast and some crit. Alright, we did get chromatic bolt quite late, so you know it's not very effective. Obviously, like I said, you do want to try and get it earlier. Again, RNG plays a very, very important role here. So you can't always get what you want. But it is only like a 6-minute run, so obviously you can just keep trying and you will get what you are looking for eventually. And then priorities is cast frequency, then damage, then multicast. Alright, so we can actually go for damage here, multicast, and we can actually take a crit damage just because of the dazed from the lightning. Just in case something doesn't die. Actually, just so you guys know, there is the way that damage calculation works is the crit damage and all of that works before the damage is done. So you apply the dazed, and then as you apply the dazed, the damage gets applied like after that. So it's very interesting. It's a very cool way that they've worked the damage and the calculations and the way that it works. But there we go. It was a under 6-minute run. We were quite lucky there to get chromatic bolt at the end, and we were very very close to not getting everything we needed. But this is the setup I like to run. You will get consistently under 6 minutes. You, again, gonna go damage. You're gonna go for multicast for when it shows. Personally, if something like this happens to you, I would go for the severe cold. Severe cold is going to be doing a lot more damage than chromatic bolts. You've also got purity, so it's going to hit harder. So get that. Go for your leviathans, because they are going to be increasing the damage of everything. And obviously, again, cast frequency, damage, and then multicast. And as you saw, severe cold did 3.1 million damage. Chromatic bolt, even though I had the skill for a total of 1 minute, did more damage than chain lightning, thunderstrike, freezing blow, which was there from the very beginning. So again, chromatic bolt, severe cold, those are the two spells that you focus on. So as soon as you see something for them in the upgrade, you grab it. And if you see damage versus damage versus cast frequency and multicast, you're going to take the rarest option, obviously, because that's going to be the biggest multiplier. And then after that, it is going to be cast frequency, damage, and then multicast in that order. So I hope this helped you guys. I hope you're able to get those 6 minute runs in. Not that you need it for any achievements except for something personal. And then just work on it, RNG, tweak it, and you maybe you'll be able to get under 5 minutes. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And always remember, keep safe, survivors. Until next time, cheers.